Hey yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of the Review at Rob Show. Appreciate you, as always, coming over here to hang out with me as we talk spoiler free movie reviews. And on this episode, our spoiler free review is going to be for Captain America Brave New World. As well, got some news to talk about with you from horror, some DC stuff, talking about some other stuff around the movie realms to talk about as well. So, appreciate you joining in. If you're new, welcome in. I'm a goofball. We're going to have fun on this episode, man. As well, just real quick housekeeping. I have another show called Into the Fog with Wolfman Rob, where I talk about HHN stuff. Plenty of those episodes out there for you to check out as well. It's on this YouTube page. Please hit that like and subscribe, all that stuff that people say to do on these things. And real quickly, just celebrated since last time, in between episodes, I celebrated my 5th anniversary of doing this here very show. The Review at Rob show is 5 years old, man. 5th anniversary. Absolutely love doing the show. The show has been a passion project for me since day one, and I have a good time, man. I don't overcomplicate things. I just talk from the heart about movies I've seen, and all that stuff. And that's never going to change. Going to keep being that way as long as I'm doing this show, which I plan on doing for as long as I can do it. So, the Review at Rob show, love you. Thank you for joining in and hanging out with me. If you've been here for all 5 years, what a trooper. Those early years were tough, man. Those were goofy. Those are nervous years. But I feel so much better now doing this show. But without further ado, that's not why you're here. You're here for a review, man. So spoiler free review time for Captain America Brave New World. The film is rated PG-13 for intense sequences of violence, action, and some strong language. Running in at 1 hour 58 minutes, this is an action adventure fantasy film currently in theaters. Anthony Mackie returns to his high flying role as Sam Wilson, who has officially taken over the mantle of Captain America. After meeting with newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, played by the legendary Harrison Ford, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. Captain America Brave New World was called New World Order before, but they changed it to Brave New World. So, going into this movie was pretty interesting because I've been on record. If you're new to the show, if you've been with the show for a while, you've heard me say this several times. But if you're new to the show, I'm not the biggest fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've seen all the movies. I enjoyed a lot of them, and a lot of them I think have been overrated, and some of them I didn't like at all. But who I go into every movie as hopeful as possible, but I'm not as big of a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan as a lot of people are. But the main thing I have always loved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been the Captain America films. All three of the films starring Chris Evans as Captain America was my jam, man. I enjoyed all three of those, had a great time with them. My favorite trilogy of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all that stuff, man. I loved those films. So going into this, I was excited to see where it was going to end up going, how Captain America 4 will end up being, and all that stuff. How is it going to fit in? Will it vibe as well with the previous Captain America films and all that stuff? We've seen Sam Wilson before. We've seen him hanging out with Captain America in those Captain America films, and he's been a character that's throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been a pretty integral part of the whole deal. So we're used to his character and all that stuff. So going into it, I had my excitement, man. I like the Sam character, and I again love those Captain America movies. So by going into it, I ran into something I was not expecting to happen, and that was a lot of hate thrown at this movie from early reviews. You have people saying it is the worst Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time. Rotten Tomatoes has it scored under Eternals, which will make it the lowest scored Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time on their program. I've seen people online saying it's the worst Marvel film of all time, including the Sony movies. I even saw somebody saying is the worst Marvel film under so much so that it is worse than Madam Web. So going into this movie, I was like, wow, man, people are really hating this movie. This movie must be extremely terrible. If you just go by the internet's opinion and all that stuff, this must be a bad film by all means and by all reviews that are being thrown out there on it. So nonetheless, went there and watched the film. And again, I like that character, Sam Wilson. I've enjoyed the character from the whole time. I'm going to be right here up front with you. The story of the film, easy to follow, makes a lot of sense. Again, I'm going to not spoil anything, so I'm going to talk around myself here, not to spoil anything. But the story, it's easy to follow along with, and it's an interesting story. I found it interesting. I thought it a pretty cool idea for them to go to. As far as how it fits with, honestly, it felt like a Captain America movie. Like again, I love those other Captain America movies that I've seen. I loved all three of them, and this movie feels just as good as the other Captain. Now, obviously, other Captain America movies are bigger, better, and all that stuff. But like, it felt just like a Captain America movie. I'm not gonna say it's better than the other ones by any means, but it's a good freaking movie. It's a good, enjoyable movie. The story is fun. It makes sense. It's interesting. It does great action scenes in it, and it's got great detective scenes in it. Detective work, trying to figure out what's going on here and going on to a mission over here to solve this part and solving that part as well. And the big battles in there, big freaking battles involving jets and flying around jets and all this stuff looked awesome, was fantastically cool and all that. And then, of course, the big battle with the character that I wish, honestly, we didn't see in the trailer. And that's not this movie's fault. That's not, you know, it's more along the lines of marketing's fault and all that stuff. But it's kind of an epidemic that's going on with a lot of movie trailers lately, is that just too much is being given away in these films lately, in their film trailers. And I wish they would have, after seeing the movie, I wish they wouldn't have shown Red Hulk in the trailer and all that stuff and giving away who it is and all that. Because watching that movie and seeing the build up to the moment that the Red Hulk comes out, so freaking good. Like, that was so well done to me. And just that agony of seeing the character going through all of this and everything that's happening until it officially comes out was so good. Like, that was so good and so well done and well put together that I wish it wasn't in the trailer or anything like that. But I get it. They got to sell tickets and everything. And Marvel's been on a bit of a tough streak with some films lately. Ever since Endgame, people have been kind of hard on Marvel and all that stuff. I think Spider-Man came out right after Endgame and all that, and that was received well. But after that, like, it's been tough going for Marvel movies and TV shows. A lot of people kind of been on their case, which it gets to the point of, we'll get to that after the movie talk. Um, Sam Wilson as Captain America, I enjoy. You know, again, I've always enjoyed that character. I've always found him to be fun. I think Anthony Mackie's done a fantastic job playing that role, and seeing him get the mantle of Captain America has been good. I mean, and we saw that obviously with the end of Endgame, and then even more so with the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, where he officially becomes Captain America. Like, that was all good stuff, and I love him in that role, and I think he's doing a great job in that role. I think he's filling in perfectly fine, and they're following the comic books. Again, the comic books had Sam Wilson as Captain America as well. So anybody that's freaking out about that, it's literally in the comic books and all that stuff. Which I think has something to do with the reviews, which shame on you if you're giving this movie bad reviews because of the complexion of the person's skin playing Captain America. That's ridiculously stupid. The film itself, they're doing a good job. Like, it's an entertaining film. It's a good movie. It's, obviously it's not in that upper echelon of Marvel films that are extremely solid movies, but I say it's in line with the Captain America movies. Like, if you fall in line with all of them, it fits right in with those Captain America movies. It feels good, feels just like those movies. I was hanging out with my buddy before we were watching Captain America Winter Soldier, and I was like, after coming out of Captain America Brave New World, I'm like, fits perfectly fine in the Captain America world. It works all that well. Of course, Civil War was more of an Avengers movie, if you want to be fair about it and all that stuff, but it feels fine. Like, it works to me. So it's still shocking to see all of these bad reviews, and it's like, what are, what are these coming from? Because I obviously saw a different movie. Now, of course, films are extremely subjective, and people are going to have their own opinions about movie. Lord knows there are a lot of movies I love that people don't like, but it's so shocking to see these extremely bad reviews for this movie that I came out of, like, completely entertained and enjoyed the story the whole time. Action scenes were awesome. I've seen complaints about CGI, which 95% of the movie, not an issue at all. The only time I ran into an issue with the CGI or green screen effect or anything like that was towards the end, at the end of the battle between Cap and Red Hulk and all that stuff. Like, that was the wonky, is a good term to put it. But the CGI, if it wasn't that big of an issue. Like, I think that's being overly played as well. I've seen worse CGI, to say for sure. There's been worse movies with worse CGI. Ant-Man, Quantumania or whatever. There's worse films with CGI, but people believe that movie is better than this movie as well. Again, subjective. That is your opinion and all that stuff. For me, I had a great time with this movie. I had a good time. I loved it, just like I loved the other Captain America films. Chris Evans was fantastic. Anthony Mackie's awesome. So I don't know. I don't know where the complaints are coming from. It's a completely entertaining movie, good blockbuster film. Marvel Cinematic Hero movie works perfectly well for me. I don't know what people are looking for. I don't know what people are expecting, but for me, it's worth your time to go see in theaters and check it out for sure. It's a big movie to go see on theaters. It's good done. Anthony Mackie's awesome. Harrison Ford's awesome. It's a good time in that movie all around. So Captain America: Brave New World gets the pass from me. It's a good freaking time movie for sure. If you like the other Captain America movies, you'll absolutely love this movie as well. So I think what's going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the people being not as into them, when I'll agree with you, some of those movies are not good, but it seems like it's getting over the top with the hatred towards some of these movies, and I just think about I think a lot of people keep expecting end game movies, and end game is not going to happen again until what, Secret Wars or Doomsday or whatever that is that's coming up. Like you're not going to get another big end game movie for a while. Like you got to understand, Endgame was the culmination of what 20 years of stories building up into the end of that saga. And now I think Spider-Man was technically the end of the saga, but now we're starting a new saga and we're in the beginning phase of that saga. So all these movies are going to start to build and they have to build to the eventual big movie and all that stuff. And for me, this has been the best movie they've put out lately, and it's very good. Like again, I've seen other people have enjoyed it as well. Like it's a good movie. Like I don't know where the hatred's coming from. I think I do know that a lot of people, because I have seen it, it's like there's not Mark Captain America, and again, shame on you. That's just terrible. Um, he's awesome. I enjoy Anthony Mackie. I think he's doing a great job in that film. A lot of people are like Anthony Mackie can't lead a project. Did perfectly fine in that movie to me. Does perfectly fine with that Twisted Metal show as well. So I don't know, man. Again, movies are extremely subjective. You're going to be into what you're going to be into, but who would have known, man? Hell froze over, whatever you want to say it. But this huge DC fan who doesn't get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff all that much, but will still watch them and enjoy a good bit of them. But I'm a bigger DC fan. Absolutely enjoyed this movie from start to finish. Was in, I was hooked from start to finish. Never had a bad moment watching the movie. All of it was cool. Like all of it was cool. All of it was good for me, man. So I don't know. That's a complicated thing. But if you saw Captain America: Brave New World, maybe I'm opening up myself. I know. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna enjoy what I'm gonna enjoy. If you hated the movie, you hated the movie. That's your deal. But if you want to talk about it, throw it in the comments, man. But me personally, I enjoyed it. There is one credit scene in the film. It is at the very end of the credits, which is obviously going to be setting up for future stuff. But I enjoyed this movie, man. Um, I enjoyed it. I don't know. Story, action scenes, awesome. Uh, so many good action scenes. Like just seeing freaking Falcon in the Captain America suit and flying around and throwing the freaking shield around and all that stuff. Good time. I saw freaking Captain America catch a gut wrench power bomb through a table. Awesome. Awesome. Maybe I'm just easy to please. I don't know, but that was that was awesome. There was great action scenes. What's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. Always a great villain. I believe that's his name. Hopefully, he didn't mess that up. But always a great villain, and he was awesome in the movie. The cast is good. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. It's one of those times where, people are always like, "Oh, this Marvel movie's excellent." I'm on normally over here. I'm like, is it?" It's one of those times where I'm like, "This movie's awesome," and other people are like, So what can you do? You can't win them all, I guess. But for me, thoroughly enjoyed Captain America: Brave New World. Honestly, want to see it again. I don't know, and then I don't have an opening next time movie wise. Maybe I can sneak in another showing of it because we do have the Monkey coming out this week. But I enjoyed that movie, man. I again, I don't know. We're saying the same stuff over and over again. So let's go ahead and move forward here. All right. So from there, let's jump into DC real quick. I have one thing to talk about DC, and that is Robert Pattinson has talked to the Batman a little bit. He's currently on a press tour for his film that's coming out, Mickey something, Mickey 23, Mickey some number. You've probably seen the trailer while you're in theaters, but he was asked about the Batman and all that stuff, and he said, "quote I think at the end of the year." So he's talking about the shooting for the film. Shooting for the film will begin, "quote I think at the end of the year, and I know what it's about, but I can't tell anyone. But it's very cool. It's very exciting." End quote. This movie needs to hurry up. Like I loved the Batman movie, and I love that Penguin show that we just got last year. So to have a little bit of taste of that world still was great. But this movie, man, if they're not starting filming until the end of the year, Like, come on. Like, I need some more of the Batman in my life because it's been a while. It's been a while, but I need some more freaking of the Pattinson. The Battinson. I enjoy that movie. Again, that's a movie that a lot of people didn't like as well. A lot of people liked it, but a lot of people didn't like it as well. But my goodness, I can't wait to see where we go. There's all kinds of rumors floating around about that, floating around all there about that. But man, I am into that world, and I can't wait for them to get back to it. Actually, I do have another DC thing. I saw it earlier while I was watching the Daytona 500. There is a rumor on the internet that James McAvoy is possibly going to be cast to play Clayface in a Clayface movie. Um, that's fine. um, I think he's an awesome actor, and I enjoy his acting abilities and all that stuff. That's going to be from Mike Flanagan's going to be helping that one, and it's going to be more of a horror film and all that stuff. Cool. Like, I'm into it. We did have Clayface in blanking Creature Commandos. We did have Clayface in Creature Commandos recently, and normally what James Gunn said is the actor who voices the character will play the live action version, but we'll have to wait and see. I can't remember off the top of my dome if this movie's going to be part of the DC. I think it is. I think it is part of the. Yeah. No, maybe I'm thinking Swamp Thing, but Clayface as a cool character, and James McAvoy is a fantastic actor. So, I mean, he does great stuff with horror too. So, just to the idea of him being in there and playing Clayface and all that stuff is interesting. Again, just a wild rumor that I saw while scrolling through the internet, and you know how that works. So, don't believe it till Mr. James Gunn says something about it, but that's out there. So I thought I'd throw that out there for you to think about as well. Let's see. Going from DC, let's jump into the Wizarding world real quick with a rumored casting happening. There is a rumor that John Lithgow is in final talks to play Albus Dumbledore in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series that is based on the books. Each season will be a different book, apparently. And I'm conflicted on it. I'm in the middle of it on that. Mostly because I don't know how that would go. I like John Lithgow. I mean, I feel like I've been watching John Lithgow forever because I grew up watching when I was growing up. Third Rock from the Sun was out, and I was watching that show all the time because I freaking love that show. And I really want to rewatch that show. I need to find it. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. But him as Albus Dumbledore is interesting. Like, that's a thought of I would have never thought of. That's something that would never cross my mind as a possibility to happen is John Lithgow playing the role. But it's not something that I think he would mess up. Like, he's again a very good actor. I mean, he's across the board. He's done so many different things from comedy to horror to drama to all kinds of things. Like that. He's a very talented performer. So I know he can probably find something to do it, but it's just something that I can't wrap my head around at the moment of him playing the character. I'm sure again he would do a good job, but that is something that is unexpected if it actually happens. So we'll see how that all ends up going. All right. Speaking of, I just mentioned horror. Let's talk some horror stuff. We got some couple of things to talk about here in horror, beginning with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Apparently, this movie will be getting a qualifying run in theaters from Netflix. So Netflix is apparently going to put the movie out in theaters for it to have I guess, an award season qualifying type of run, which is interesting because I don't know if Netflix has to put their movies in theaters for a qualifying run. Maybe I'm missing it. I remember that Amelia Perez stinker being in theaters, but that's nominated for a lot of awards. I don't know. But that's cool. If I get the chance to see that on the big screen, I will absolutely go to the screen. I know it's going to be on Netflix. I don't care. If I get the chance to see it in theaters, I'm gonna go see it in theaters. Support Gelmo, support freaking horror, all that stuff, man. Support Frankenstein, like all of that would be worth seeing in theaters and be awesome to see in theaters. So that is apparently happening. Other horror news since the last time we talked is that the fantastic actress Linda Cardellini is apparently in talks to be joining the Crystal Lake series. The Crystal Lake series, of course, Friday the 13th, Jason related show. That'll be from A24 and on Peacock and all that. Yeah, the rumor, the theory, the thought is that she'd be playing Jason's mom, which Jason's gonna have a hot mom. Apparently, I said it. um, Linda Cardellini is fantastic. She's been in a lot of stuff. Again, comedies all the way through. She was in a Marvel movie. So like she's done a lot of stuff. You know her. You've seen her. She's been in a lot of stuff. You know, good actress, very talented actress. Her playing the mom is interesting. Like I don't know what this show's going to be. Like I don't even know if we've gotten an actual synopsis on what that show is going to be, but I'm here for it. Like why not bring it on, man? Like bring it on. It's going to be awesome. Like again, a talented performer doing something interesting. Why not? Let's have fun with it. She's been in the horror realm plenty enough, spooky realm. She did Scooby Doo. She was in freaking uh, La Llorona and all that stuff. So she's got a history with the horror, man. Like she's done the stuff. Like she's been in there. She's already a talented lady. You know, you add in all this other stuff, and she will work well for those roles and all that stuff. So I got trust in her. I got trust in it. You know, we'll see how it goes. Friday the 13th returning finally. About dang time. All right. And finally, a script is being written currently for the sequel to Godzilla minus one. Do you call it Godzilla minus two? I don't know. But my God, that movie, like, whew, what a great movie. I think that's the greatest Godzilla movie I've ever seen. I don't even think it is the greatest Godzilla movie I've ever seen. Yes, those other Godzilla movies that have come out recently, like Godzilla vs. Kong and King of Monsters and all that stuff, they're fun, they're entertaining and all that. But this movie, freaking amazingly incredible film that it is. I saw it in theaters in black and white. It's the only way I want to ever see that movie. I know that I don't want to see the other one. I like Godzilla minus one minus color. That's the way I want to see it. There's a picture on my desktop. I got like a rotation of photos. One of them is freaking that black and white photo of Godzilla coming up behind the boat, just stalking the boat and all this stuff. Oh my god, so freaking cool, so freaking awesome, so scary. Like all this. Oh, you tell me I'm getting another one of those? Please give me more of those. Like that's freaking incredible. That's all I need. Give me more of that. Like give me more of that. Like that Godzilla movie is. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Like that's a movie you need to go watch. Turn off my stupid show and go watch that movie, man. Like that movie is incredible from start to finish. Holy crap. And so worth your time. So worth your time. Right. And let's see. Is that all right? One last thing to talk about, man. So this was news that has officially broke. It's been rumored for a while. It's been talked about for a while, but it's officially happening after 40 years. About 40 years. A sequel is officially happening for The Goonies. The 80s classic film is getting a sequel, which is interesting news. A lot of people have talked about reboots, reboot show, all that stuff. It's getting a sequel, man. So I'm expecting to see all of those characters back that can be back. All that stuff. Corey Feldman better be in that. Sean Astin better be in it. Give me Ki Hu Kwan back in it. Give me it all back, man. Josh Brolin, he was in it, right? Get it back in there. Like, give me all the fun. Give me all the good time. I don't know what the story's gonna be. It's probably gonna follow their kids or something. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But I'm into it. Like I thoroughly enjoy this idea of revisiting. I know some people get up in arms about sequels decades later and all that stuff, but I think it's time, man. I think a Goonies movie would be fun. I think that would be a good fun time. I think it gives back to the realm of just do something fun, man. Do a fun movie, and Goonies is a fun flipping movie. So glad to see them back. Ki Hu Kwan has had like a career resurgence since what was it? Everything, everywhere, all at once. Like ever since that movie, he won an Oscar for that. He's been getting movies left and right, so that's going to help the Goonies. From everybody loves Sean Astin. Corey Feldman's out there being Corey Feldman. I like Corey Feldman, but he's doing Corey Feldman things, and which isn't bad. Live your life, bro. Josh Brolin, of course, had huge success as Thanos and all that stuff. So I'm fine with a Goonies movie. I think that'll be a good fun time for them to come back again. Nothing known as far, and there's no director attached. There's no script is being written. So what the synopsis or the plot or anything, we don't know. We do know the Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment will be back. We know Chris Columbus will be back, producing it and all that stuff. So it's got all the key elements to be a fun time. It'll help obviously hit on that nostalgia for people. So I am excited for a Goonies movie. I think that's going to be good fun, man. But that is going to do it for this episode. So again, appreciate all of you that have been here for all 5 years of this goofball talking movies, man. I love doing this show, and I hope you have a good time with me on this show. If you're new to the show, appreciate you joining in. We're going to have a good fun time here. As you can tell from this episode, I don't take things overly serious. I am as open as can be. And I'm going to tell it like it is. I don't follow the hype trains of everything. I don't fall in line with other people's reviews and all that stuff. Clearly, people hated this Captain America movie. I loved it. So it is what it is. That's how it is. But there you go. Spoiler free review of Captain America Brave New World. Go see it in theaters. Um, Horror news: Linda Cardellini joining Friday the 13th series. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein will be in theaters. We got another Godzilla on the way. The Batman may be happening at some point. And the Goonies are coming back, man. So all kinds of fun stuff to think about. Until next episode, be on the lookout. I have a new episode of Into the Fog coming out. I release both shows weekly. This guy, nervous to start doing podcasts 5 years ago. Now I've got two, man. I got two shows by myself on screen as well. Just putting myself out there. Holy crap. Huh. You meet me in person, nice guy, but I'm very, very calm, very quiet, very subdued, kind of just in my own world, mostly because I don't know how to interact with people. If I don't, I just exist in this world. Lord knows how I have any friends. I don't know how that happened, but it happened, and they are awesome. I appreciate all of them. So as always, like to end the show with just reminding you that you are incredible. You truly do matter. If you're going through a tough stretch, I feel it. I've been there with you. I've been through those tough stretches as well. You just got to keep believing in yourself and keep fighting, and everything will end up working out as it needs to work out. So chase those dreams, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, because again, you have incredible talents inside of you. You have incredible abilities inside of you. Believe in them, chase them, embrace them, empower them, put them in motion. You are incredible. You matter. And as always, remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode. Again, Into the Fog has a new episode coming out later this week, and then we'll have a new review for you, spoiler free, next week. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Have a good night.